You might help me interpret what he said. Although, as I said, it's too early to make a final judgment, it's obvious that these elections will fall short of international standards that are normally expected of advanced democracies in the holding of elections. And Sudan's obligations for genuine elections, in many respects, the people's expectations have not been met. These elections are very important, as you know, as an integral step in the consummation or fulfillment of a comprehensive peace agreement. And despite their observed weaknesses, which I will outline shortly, the elections are a CPA benchmark. Voters were faced with a range of operational and logistical problems. Quite often, there were inadequate materials delivered to the polling stations. Sometimes they didn't have the booths where they could vote secretly. Sometimes there was not all the ballots there, or an inadequate number of ballots. And in the first few days, many of the people could not vote because, for instance, in the South, several of the polling places that I personally visited had 11 of the ballots but didn't have the 12th one. And the rules were that they could not vote until all 12 ballots were present. There were 8 ballots, as you know, in the North. Eventually, I believe almost all of these materials were delivered. But quite often, those early voters who came and were frustrated did not come back. In the 3 states in Darfur, we only deployed our observers in the major urban centers. Because of security threats, we were not able to go into the rural areas. Those observations in the urban centers were peaceful, but there were still many discrepancies in Darfur as well. So it would be hard for us to say that the election in Darfur was credible because of, in the early stages, the IDPs, the displaced persons, were not given an adequate chance to register in some of the camps. And many of them told our observers that they did not want to register to vote in the camps because this might prevent their returning to their own home village after the election was over. It's important for Sudan to draw lessons from this experience after the entire process is completed, and to make sure that this is a basis, a foundation on which further democracy and peace and unity can be preserved in this great nation. John Hardman, after Justice